Hey guys, so this is a couple of pictures of a tape that I've already done that I took apart and cleaned. I just wanted to make a video showing how exactly I did it. So of course, if there's any label on the bottom, you need to go ahead and cut through it so that the tape will be able to separate. You'll find usually 5 screws on the side that the wheels are on. Make sure you fold the top up so that it doesn't catch the tape as you're trying to open it. Sometimes in the hinge area it can get stuck a little, so just use something to pry it up a little. You're going to want some alcohol, 70 to 90, whatever you have on hand. 90 of course would be the best, but I had some 70 on hand. Just use a Q-tip to clean the more easy and obvious to reach areas. I know that may not seem like a lot, but whether it be mold or the crystals from the tape deteriorating, you need to get it all cleaned up. You can see right there, even on the cover of the tape, where the plastic doesn't, where the tape doesn't hit. You can see a lot of debris and a lot of gunk built up. I mean, you have to remember some of these tapes are 30 years old, you know. I mean, some a tad bit older. I mean, it's just, it happens, you know. And the gunk buildup on the tape itself isn't always necessarily mold. I mean, as tapes start to go bad, they form little crystals that are white, so it can sometimes be hard to tell. Usually if it has a color, it's mold, and if it's white, usually it's just the tape starting to degrade. Now all I'm doing here is I'm slightly bending up the plastic cover on the reel so that I can get that, you can see how it gunk, so that I can get the goodness, my mind's completely, so that I can get the Q-tip down in there, the cotton swab, so that I can clean out as much of it as I can. I'm not going to get all of it because it's just slightly too thick for me to get down in there. Now on some of them, the plastic will be more bendy or won't be as thick around the tape, and you'll be able to get more of it. But on this one, the plastic was pretty thick and I couldn't bend it up much, because you definitely don't want to break it. You can always transfer the tape to a new casing, but you don't want to have to do that, especially if you don't have any extra casings on hand. But just slowly work your way around, cleaning up as much of it as you can. And the other bits that you can't get, we'll get to that here in just a second. You don't want to bend it too much. You don't want to put a whole lot of pressure. Just rub that cotton swab across there as much as you can to release any of it. This will also help prevent the tape from sticking together and caking up whenever you're trying to run it through the VCR. And if you see any little bits of debris on the other bits of plastic, go ahead. This is the time to go ahead and clean that out as well. Clean those rollers, those heads. Make sure all of that's good. Okay, so now we've gotten what we can. Let's is put the tape back together. Make sure you fold that top piece up so that it doesn't catch the tape. And we're just going to put the screws back in. And you don't want to over tighten these, because if you over tighten them, then the case will crack. You just want to tighten them enough to where you're starting to get some resistance. Remember, you're holding together just two thin pieces of plastic, not necessarily trying to tighten two pieces of wood or put together a case or something. Okay, we got our tape together. Now for the VCR part. Now these are a couple of cotton swabs, or cotton pads. And all I'm going to do is put some alcohol on one. Now I do show you a better way here in just a minute. This is just the way I was doing it, and then it occurred to me that I could do it a better way while I was making this video, so you'll see what I mean here in a minute. But you want to place the pad. You want to wait till the heads take the tape up, and then you're going to want to find that little open space right by the tape on the left and slide that cotton pad down right in there. And that's going to let that tape, as it goes through, it's going to slide along that cotton, and it's going to help to clean it. And I'm putting an extra one back there just to help support it and make sure it's pushing on that tape a little. Now keep it off of that big spinning wheel, the head in the middle, because if it catches it, it might just fling them. You don't want that. Alright, so we're going to hit fast forward on the tape. That way it'll speed through and clean itself. And now you just wait for it to all go to the other side. Okay, now I've hit the end of the tape fast forwarding, so what we need to do is stop it before it starts to rewind itself. And we're going to remove that top one that had the alcohol on it that was cleaning the tape, and we're going to want to put some alcohol on the one that was supporting it, because we cleaned one side of the tape and now we need to clean the other side. Except for this time there's nothing to really set the cotton against, so you have to kind of position it in there, and then you're going to have to gently hold it in with your finger. But like I said, right after this is when I thought of a better way of doing this. So just hold on a minute and I'll throw that up on the screen here in just a second. But you can see I'm just lightly holding it in place, and I'm hitting rewind so that the tape will start coming back through and it'll clean the other side. Now this right here is what I was talking about with a better way. What I did was I took 2 of the pads and I glued it at the top with hot glue. And then I put alcohol on both sides, and I just set it down with the tape going right between the 2 pads. And that way I can fast forward it and then rewind it. And as I do that, it's going to clean both sides twice. That was a much better way. Not sure why I had never thought of that before, but it came to me while I was doing this. Now, what you want to do is right before the tape is done rewinding, you're going to want to remove the cotton. Because if the tape fully rewinds before you remove that cotton, the moment that it's done rewinding, it's going to automatically eject. See? And you don't want it to try pulling that cotton in with the tape. So now just one last step. We're going to put a little bit of alcohol on one of the cotton pads, and we're just going to give the case a light wipe down. Just to make sure that any gunk or anything that was on the case itself is gone. And you're going to be able to see that that tape is looking a whole lot cleaner. No more little white spots on the tape. It looks pretty good now. Now keep in mind that no matter how much of this stuff you clean off, the damage is done to the tape. So anything, I mean, this will definitely help the playback a lot, but on parts of it where there are damage, there's just nothing you can really do about that. But I hope this helped. Get your tapes clean, and thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.